So thank you, Katerina. My name's Jo Soley. My business is Bizology. I help you use the power of numerology to elevate your business success. Oh, nearly tripped up. So the good news is that there's not much outside of our control. Everything you need is just there when you need it with your numeric energies. So I'm going to show you tonight how you can access that power with regards to your numbers. I will be showing you some maybe different concepts that you haven't heard before. So you seem like an open-minded bunch anyway, but I'm just going to ask you to have an open mind. So you must have heard phrases like this: your days are numbered and I've got your number. And it's true. Numbers speak and their language is numerology. So as a business coach, I help you use the power of numerology to really push yourself forward in life and business, because people do business if they like you, if they know you, if they trust you. But numerology helps you like, know and trust yourself. Numerology helps you like, know and trust other people. Numerology likes you help and trust, like, know and trust your team, your clients, your family, your partners. And it helps you kind of give everybody a bit of a break. It helps you be yourself because everybody else is taken. It helps you stop putting round pegs in square holes. And it helps you, with a made-up word, stop comparitinitis. So, numbers are as old as the hills. Numerology is as old as the hills. You can find it in the Bible, the Kabbalah. A lovely lady just said to me that India loves numerology. It's the Egyptians used it. It's in the hieroglyphics. Pythagoras, Plato, Nero. It's so old. We've kind of forgotten how to use it, but we're waking up. Okay, so we're starting to use, I spoke to a lady about palmistry, we're starting to use these modalities again, like numerology, like palmistry, like astrology. Because numerology reminds you who you are. It talks to you in a way that nothing else does. So what's numerology? Okay, numbers are pure magic. They are energy, they're fundamental of form, they're cosmic and they're deep. Maths deals with the fact that 2 plus 2 is 4. But in numerology, facts tell, stories sell, numerology gives us a story of that 4. So we've got 4 fingers, we've got 4 legs to that chair, we've got 4 seasons, we've got 4 directions, there's 4 elements. In your heart you've got 4 chambers, in your brain you've got 4 chambers, in your DNA you've got 4 pairs, in some tarot cards you've got 4 suits, in normal cards you've got 4 suits, in the gospel you've got 4 books. Okay, so 4 gives us structure and control and routine and systems and planning. And in numeric terms, the number 4 is about structure and control and routine. I'm born on the 4th of the 4th. I'm a bit of a dog with a bone. So in a personal year 4, I'll talk to you about personal year 4, personal years a bit later. Nothing happens fast in a 4 year because it's about looking down, it's about the earth, it's about organisation. So what is numerology not? Well, it isn't saying, Katerina, you're a 5. You are working with the energy of the number 5 if you choose to. So it's not a way of defining people. It's not how much information can we get about the number 5. It doesn't work very well online because you need that intuitive piece, you need that connection piece, you need to speak to somebody about what's going on so it can be relatable. It's not a good tool for kind of predicting the future really, but you can have a little go. So in 1966 it was a 22 year, which is a master number, and England won the World Cup. And next year it's 2020, which is another 22 year. It's going to be off the charts, 2020. The energy's going to be crazy. And there's another World Cup, so we'll see what happens. I use it a little bit like that. I love listening to Radio 2 in the morning, and it was Chris Evans, and I adore Sarah Cox, and she's a one life path like me, and I thought I'd love her to get the gig. But I did the numbers, and Zoe Ball was a 6, and the British Broadcasting Corporation is a 6, and 6 companies like 6 employees. So it's and she got it. So, but then Sarah got the afternoon slot. So my journey, how did I get into this? 2.5 years ago, it was the 8th of March 2017, and it was a wet night, and this guy was at the front talking about numerology, and every word he said I was like, oh my God, I've got to have some of that in my life. And basically his opening gambit was, forget International Women's Day, it's International Women's Millennium. Bear with me now, boys, because you'll understand what this means in a few moments. But when we were born into the 19s. So 1 + 9 is 10, 1 and 0 is 1. So we were born into a very masculine, high quick start. 1 is fire, 1 is masculine, I'm a 1, it's leadership, it's innovation, self-employment, A to Z, action, okay? And we were born into that energy, and there was Reagan and Thatcher and Scargill, and there was no technology, and we just got on with it. There was answers and questions, and it was result driven. Now we're in the energy of the 2, and the 2 is the divine feminine. In the tarot it's the high priestess. It's taken us 20 years to get there, but we're definitely in it now. So if 2 was an element, it would be water. So water is emotions, so it's fluidity, and at the moment we feel like we're going from A to B, back to A to B to C, back to A, because there's no certainty, and in our lifetime there won't be any certainty. So the way that we navigate the 2 is more women starting their own business, technology. We're waking up. The Dalai Lama said the Western woman is going to save the world, because this is, you know, it's this fluidity, it's this uncertainty, and there's going to be no certainty. So the way we manage the conflict with certainty is to really connect to our spirituality, is to connect to our divine feminine, is to connect to our divine masculine, and to work together, to work in partnership. Barack Obama was a 2. If you listen to him, he used to say, we can do this, but we won't, because we're going to do this, but we won't, and it's very 2 energy. So also, that night he spoke about master numbers. Now, no number is better than any other number, but if you're working with a master number, you've got it for a reason. Master numbers are like supercharged, they're supersonic, they're like kryptonite. It's normal numbers on steroids. They've got the ability to go beyond. It's like a mini car with a Ferrari engine, but it's not a case of confidence, it's an upgrade. And if you're working with the number 22, my job tonight is to tell you that so you don't work in 4, because it's very easy for 22s to work in 4, and if you're an 11 then you might be working in 2. So again, we want to make sure you're working in 11 as well. There's also 33, 44, but the way I show you your calculations, you'll either be an 11 or a 22. So let me tell you some 22s. Love him or hate him, one of the things going on with Donald Trump is he's working with the energy of the number 22. 22s just do what they want. Oprah Winfrey, 22 energy. Margaret Thatcher, 22 energy. She didn't need much sleep. 22s don't. They're workaholics. They can work like a dog. Branson, very dyslexic, 22 energy, doing business in a different way. Bono, Bob Geldof. So that's, you know, I could, Muji, Rumi, I could stand here all night rolling off 22s. But 11s, there aren't any. Well, there are, but they're not like loads of famous people. There's more 11s being born now. So the 22 energy is the architect of change. They're here to change the world one person at a time. The 11 energy is the spiritual teacher. It's the 2 vibration, which we're in now with the 2000s. So more people are being born with the 11 life path because we need them now in the times that we're in. So I'm going to show you in a little bit how to work out your life path number, and I'm going to share a little bit of information on each number. But understanding your life path number really connects you to what you're here to do. So 2.5 years ago, when I met Richard, I was working in the energy of a 9, which is my link number. 9 is an old soul, humanitarian, been here before, people pleasing in the negative, and very, you know, putting everyone else before me. We work in spectrums of numbers. So I wasn't really being 1 at all. And if I was being 1, I was being kind of a little bit 1. I'm a life path 1. 1 is about innovation, leadership. It is the leader. They're self-employed. They've got ideas. They're just meant to bring the ideas in. Lady Gaga, Steve Jobs, Bradley Cooper, that's Jose Mourinho. That's the 1 energy, okay? But I wasn't being a 9, a 1. I was being a 9, and life wasn't working out. Relationships weren't working out. My bank account was empty. And when I listened to what Richard Abbott had to say about the energy of the number 1, I was like, I need to align to this energy. Over the last 2.5 years, I've launched Bizology, which is innovative, a bit out there, a bit crazy, a bit 1. I've really, I had my own business anyway, but I've, you know, made sure that I'm working with my 4 roads. And since I have, I've transformed my relationships, I've transformed my bank balance, and I've transformed my kind of relationship with self. So that's why I said there's not much outside of our control, because when we align to who we're meant to be, then doors open. But I wasn't being 1, I was being 9. Now I'm being 1, things are happening. But there's better times and easier times to do things. So we work in 9-year cycles. And when I met Richard, I was in a 9-year. And 9 is all about shedding, releasing, deleting, purging, letting go, giving everything back to the universe. So you don't want to start anything new in a 9-year, because when you get to your 1 year, then it feels old. So in my 1 year, I went to the London College of Psychic Studies. I studied my numerology courses, and I embarked on a mentorship with Richard, and I launched Bizology. You plus numerology equals business success. I'm now in an 11 year, which is turbulent, but because I know that it's turbulent, because I know it's emotional, 11s are always emotional. I can check myself before I wreck myself, because every year gives you a chance to be another number. So in a 1 year, we want to seed the new for the next 9 years. And if we're seeding, seed, plant, not everything will grow, but we don't want to put all our eggs in one basket. So the plane takes off. And then in the 11 year, the plane hits a bit of turbulence, so we put our seatbelt on. In a 3 year, we get a drink from the minibar and we have a bit of a laugh, because 3s is the luckiest number. They wouldn't say that, but it is communication. In a 4 year, we've run out of fuel, we've run out of money, because 3 spend too much money. We come down, we land our planes, we clean the plane, we mend the cracks. Nothing happens fast. We get all our ducks in a row. We write a list and work our way through it. And then in a 5 year, we go off again, but in a different direction from the last 4 years. In a 6 year, we look after our family, because 6 is about love. In a 7 year, we look after ourselves, we seek. In an 8 year, we reap all the benefits of the last 8 years, because 8 is about money and success and wealth. And in a 9 year, we give it all back and start again. So if we're trying to do something that's not, the soil isn't fertile for, that's not the right vibration, it won't work. So if we've got time, I can show you how to work out your personal year as well. So like Entrepreneurs Social is your friend, your number is your friend. When you let it into your life, there's an expansion of possibilities. When my mentor met his mentor 20, 30 years ago, and he said, you know, he was a number 3, and 3 is about leading from the front and writing books and divine self-expression. He said, well, that's not me. Well, how's that working out for you? Well, it wasn't. 20 years later, there's 9 books on the table that is written, and life is working. So we're all named, we're all coded, we're all placed in the great universal plan. Like I said, there's no mistakes. If you've got a number, you've got it for a reason. It's not just personality analysis. Bizology is spiritual empowerment into business. And when we align our vision with our personality, then things can move forward. So if you're always chasing the dollar and you've got loads of 3s, it's not going to happen. You've got to work with the 3 first, and then the money will come, because 3 is about communication, 3 is about writing books, 3 is about divine self-expression. So, are we ready to work out what number we are? And does that make sense so far? Okay, if you would like to take one of these, if we're short on pens, you can grab your mobile phone as well.
Just pass them on the phone.
Okay. And I've had these little cards done with the numbers on, which gives you a snapshot of what number you are. So once you've worked out your number, come and see me later and I'll give you a card and you can take your number. Okay, so if you haven't got a pen, you can take your mobile phone. And how we work it out, this is my date of birth. Yes, I'm 46, I look 22 and I sound 12. So we take whole numbers, okay? So it's 4 plus 1973, and that gives me 1981. So then I add 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 1 is 19, 1 and 9 is 10, 1 and 0 is 1. So I'll give you a couple of minutes to work this out. Please, if you get to 11 or 22, don't make it 2 and don't make the 22 4. Would you like to?
Sure.
Yeah.
So if I'm 25, do I make that 7 first, or do I just do 25 plus 9?
25 plus 9 plus
Okay.
19. Yeah.
How do you do it? Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
Say how you do this again. I was getting a pen.
So it's whole numbers.
So you just let me show you.
if you've got a calculator, it might be easier. What's your date of birth, Alex?
10th of June 1983.
Sorry,
So you are...
You're a 1. You're a 28.
one,
Yeah. Shall I help you, Mary? 21 plus 12 plus 1990. 21st of the 12th, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
Thank you.
Anybody else would like a hand? What's your date of birth, please?
24.
Yeah.
You're me.
8.
If your date of birth is 28, you would still just add 28.
Yeah. So just add whole numbers.
Okay. You wouldn't
So-
add 2 and 8.
No, 28 plus.
The month.
Yeah, like old school, like at school. Yeah. Anyone else want some help?
Joe, how do you get when you've got 198, how do you get 19, 1?
So 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 1 is 19.
So say that again, sorry.
1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 1 is 19.
I think these...
So you add those digits. So does anybody else want some help? Would you like?
No, I've just got my number. I was just trying to remember what you said about it.
Oh, I'm going to go through each one.
Can you tell me?
Oh, so can I see? I think. Oh, that's a 22.
Yeah. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
2002.
Yeah, because 0 is God, so we just gently remove it out the way. It's 22. Yeah. So 0 amplifies everything. Yeah. So if you're born on the 10th or the 20th or the 30th, the 0 amplifies the 1, the 2, the 3 as well. So does anybody else want a hand working?
That's fine.
Everyone's got a number, yeah? If when we get to 4, I'll talk to you about it. Okay, so So here are the numbers and their titles. So the 1 is the leader, the 2 is the sensitive, the 3 is the communicator, 4 is the builder, 5 is the adventurer, 6 is the nurturer or the parent, 7 is the seeker, 8 is the CEO, 9 is the humanitarian, 11 is the spiritual teacher, and 22 is the architect of change. So I'm going to connect you to 4 areas now. The prime motivation of your number.
Joe, is that... So that's your that's the life number.
This
the
is,
one that
yeah.
And then what about the day number, which is just the day on which you were born?
That's your approach. So I talk about, yeah. So you're born on the,
Well, I'm all ones.
yeah. So, yeah, you'll be very one, like Madam. So, okay, so I'm going to talk to you about the prime motivation, vibration, opportunity and belief system of the numbers. So hands up if you're working with the energy of the number 1. Right, okay, so you have to make your life all about you, and then from that place you can help other people. 1 is very high quick start, it's innovation, it's leadership. We do need people behind us to support us and delegate and put things into play, but we're the ideas people. We are quite impatient. We're all about results. We go from A to Z. We aren't very good at looking at the bigger picture. We're very good at doing what's in front of us. We can't really see the path ahead, and that's fine. We just do what's in front of us, then the next thing, then the next thing, okay? So self-employment is critical for a number one, and entrepreneurialism, leadership, innovation. Hands up if you're working with the energy of the number two. No twos here? Okay, so two is similar to what I was talking about earlier with we're in the two now, you know, the 2000s. So David Beckham's a two, Barack Obama is a two, Diana Ross, she's a two. It's very emotional. It's they're very good in teams. They're not normally the power on the throne, they're normally the power behind the throne. Twos in the negative can be very fearful, worry, lack, but in the positive, they are very intuitive because the veil is very thin. Now, 11 is 2 on steroids, so they're very, very, very intuitive. A lot of spiritual teachers are 2s or 11s. But the 2 energy is all about fluidity, flow, partnership, groups, which is what 2000s, the time we're in now, is calling us to be. The 3, who's working with the energy of the number 3? No? So 3 is the communicator. It is about divine self-expression. They will have books in them. They're good at leading from the front. They're good at workshops. They're quite quirky. They can be a little bit flamboyant. They like spending money. They attract money very easily, but they're good at spending it. 3 is all about creativity, imagination, music. Gary Barlow's a 3. Kylie Minogue's a 3. Queen Victoria's a 3. So you can see that kind of energy. Who's working with the energy of the number 4? So 4s would think numerology was absolutely rubbish. So if there's any 4s in the room, they would probably have walked out by now. I'm born on the 4th of the 4th, so my approach is very 4. So it's about order, it's about structure, it's about system. In a personal year 4, nothing happens fast. The universe will shine a light on what needs to be fixed. 4 is systematic, for control, you know, but I haven't got any 4 in my name. This is when we're going deeper. So I can't get away with the extra glass of wine, the extra night with no sleep, and not checking I've got my passport 60 times before I go on holiday, because there's no actual 4 in my vibration. When you change your name, you change your life, but that's another presentation. 5. So Katerina's 5 energy, Luca 5 energy. So 5 is one of the hardest numbers to be because it's in the middle. So it can go anywhere, it can do anything, it can get on with anyone, but it can freeze. It's the midpoint, it's the pivotal point. Was there any other 5s apart from? So it freezes, it stops a little bit. So with 5, life is never ever about the destination. We know that's about the journey, but more so about a 5. It's good that you're together. So it's about new faces and new places and new spaces. 5 is the more out there, the more left field, the more kooky and crazy a 5 can be, the better. Because 5 is all about freedom and adventure and travel, and you know, it's the sexiest number and it's an essential number. Some 5s, we were talking about indulgence, but they look to food, they look to drink and things to make themselves feel better if they're not feeling better. Russell Brand's a 5. He's a typical 5 who's changed his life around. Cameron Diaz, Mark Zuckerberg. So you can feel the energy of the 5. 6. So the 6 is the nurturer. In the tarot, it's the lovers. It's the only card in the major arcana with 2 people on the card. So it is about nurturing. It is about togetherness. It is about family business. It's about love. Now, if family's in crisis, 6 can be in crisis. They love connection. They love togetherness. They love collaboration and community. It is about responsibility. They can take on quite a lot of responsibility. Zoe Ball, as I said, she's 6 energy. Karen Brady, 6, even though she's born on the 4th of the 4th. And you know, managing a football club, that's very 6 energy. 7s. I think we've got a few 7s here, haven't we? So 7 is the seeker. 7 is all about the mind. 7's about science, but it's also about mysticism. It's about information. And you have to learn, and the more you learn, you pass it through your filter, and then you can help other people. Stephen Hawking was a 7. His brain was so powerful, they say that his body gave up. Winston Churchill, Freddie Mercury, Princess Diana, Marilyn Monroe, Einstein, very 7 energy. They are the odd ones out, and no judgment, they're meant to be. 3, 4, 5, 6-sided tiles all fit together. 7-sided tiles don't fit together. They're not meant to. They're meant to have their own space. They're meant to have time out. In a personal year 7, no one calls you back. Because it's about, but modern life doesn't really support that very well, but it's about retracting and retreating. So who's working with the energy of the number 8? Woon. Brilliant. Right, it's all about the money, honey. So 8 is about success, and it's about wealth, and it's about property and business and commerce. But the question is, what is your relationship to these things? So Lord Alan Sugar's an 8, Harry Redknapp's an 8, Barbara Streisand, Liza Minnelli, Naomi Campbell, it's all very 8 energy. So as we go up the numbers, we start to elevate a little bit in terms of intuition, and 8s nail it in business. They intuitively know what to do. But are they lording it over other people, or are they bringing other people up to their level? In the tarot, the 8 major arcana card is strength. It's a picture of a lady. She's got a lion, and the lion is under control. She's crowned. So with the 8, it's you're here to wear your crown. You're here to rule, but you're here to do it, you know, with dignity and to help others. 9. 9 is the humanitarian, very old souls that they've been here before. 9s have to make their life all about other people, and then from that place they can help themselves. Now this is a tough card, because if you are making your life all about others all the time, you can think, oh, stop this for a game of soldiers, and make it about you, but then it won't work. So what you have to do is have massive boundaries. You need to have a big regime for self-care, and you need to give from the overflow of the cup, not the cup itself. 9, I do like a blog every week with a famous person, and this week I did Angel Strawbridge from, you know, Escape to the Chateau. Have you watched that? Yeah, so she's very 9, and she's so 9, creative, flamboyant, you know, loving, giving, caring, kind. Alex Polizzi, actually, you know, the hotel inspector, she's a 9, and first of all I thought she's not very 9, but she is, because she's so like incensed if people don't kind of do their best in order for them to be the best version of them. So that is very 9. And she's got a lot of 9 vibration. So when we've got a lot of one number, then we can be kind of an over vibration. So we need to bring ourselves back a little bit. I've got so much one going on that there's so much fire happening that I can burn myself out. So I have to manage that. 11, any 11s? No, they're quite rare. So 11s are the spiritual teacher, and I'm in this personal 11 year, so I'm feeling this 11 vibration, and it is emotional. It's a great year for meditation and guidance and retreat, but you've got to, like I said, check yourself before you wreck yourself, because you can overreact, and 11s are always overreact. But the veil between them and spirit is very thin, so that's why you'll find a lot of 11s now being very intuitive. 22s, we've got a couple of 22s. Okay, so 22's a big deal. It's the architect of change. You feel like you've got 5,000 volts running through you. Exercise is very, very, very important for a 22 because they need to channel that energy. So you're here you're here for a big job. You're here to change the world one person at a time. But mindset is an issue with 22 because you can self-sabotage, because you can overthink, because you'll get yourself in your own way, and then you'll end up working in the energy of 4, which is structure, control, routine, system. So you don't want to be doing that. You want to be thinking big. And when you think that you've thought as big as you can, you want to think even bigger and then even bigger. 22s need cash to be able to do what they really want to do in the world. So it's build high, aim high, create. You've got 22 and 11 have this extra ability. Look at the famous people I ruled off before. That's what Donald Trump's doing. He's just been 22. And it is about changing the world. Whereas 11 is more connection to spirit, 22 is more philanthropy. Bill Gates was a 22 and he's doing all of the causes now, It's that kind of energy. It's large structures. If I have clients come to me and they've just got maybe a room in the house and they're a therapist, we make it into a well-being centre. So it's next step, it's next level. So when we're in alignment with our numbers, life flows. There's not much outside of our control. This is all top line, Really, it's like me saying I'm Aries and somebody else is Taurus. So that's why we look at our approach, our ultimate goal, our link, expression, soul urge, etc., etc. It's layers. But if you look, this is an expression number of a business. Google is a 7. A 7 is a seeker of wisdom, and Google is a search engine of information. You can't make it up. So numerology gives you a map instead of a business plan. So if you were to say, what's going on right now with me, Joe, I would work out what personal year you're in. If you to say what's going on in the world right now, don't ask me that, but we are in a personal, actually universal year 3, which is about joy and light relief. But because it's 2019, the 19 in the tarot is the sun, and it can burn us or it can warm us, and we're seeing this kind of explosion energy happening at the moment. What should I do with my life, Joe? Go to your destiny number, and if you didn't know how to approach it, you'd go for your day that you were born, so the 4th or the 1st or the 10th or the 20th or the 30th, because that's how we start to put the layers on. That's how you start to approach your life path. So, any questions?
What's the destiny number?
Your life path number. Some people call it destiny number. In business, I've called it life path because it didn't sound so woo. But basically, it's the path of your life. It's what you're destined to do. Yeah.
How does the star sign come in?
So planets come into it a little bit. I work with cosmic energies a lot. The star signs don't tend to marry up so well with the numbers, but there's planetary alignment too. I tend to work with cosmic currents for the days of the week. So today is Wednesday, it's Mercury in French, it's Mercredi, it's Mercury, it's communication. So if I wanted to communicate something to my Facebook group today, I'd go live. Tomorrow, Jeudi, Jupiter's the planet of success and wealth. So I tend to work with planets that way. Monday, write it off. Lundy, lunar, moon, emotional, nothing much happens. That's why people don't like Mondays. It's nothing to do with the, you know, the first day of the week. But no, good question, but it's not as related, that more the planets are.
How do you work out personal year?
Personal year, so that would be 2019, but caveat, if you've had your birthday. So if your birthday's in December, then it would be 2018 because it's birthday to birthday. So personal years run birthday to birthday, so it's 4 plus 4 plus 2019, and then that will give you a number which you add up. So instead of 1973, we put 2019, and then we calculate it like that. But if you haven't had your birthday yet, you use your last birthday. So if we've got November babies, December babies, then we'd use.
So when I use that, sorry, just based on that question just then, would I use 25th of September 2019 for my personal
Yeah, because you've had your birthday.
Got it.
Yeah, yeah.
Can you still put in like the date of the day and the month?
Yeah.
So you're adding all that up again?
Still 4-4, but instead of 1973, yeah.
Okay, thanks.
My original question was, so how do you, what does your, because every letter in your name represents a number, what does your name represent when you work out?
So when people meet you, for me, what you see is what you get. So the J is a 10, which is a 1, okay, and I am a 1. So, you know, that's it. If I didn't sound 12, I'd like be far too much for people. Katerina, that's the 3. So what we see is a communicator, right? We see that. We get to know Katerina as a communicator. And because we're seeing that and we're treating her a little bit like that, then she behaves a little bit like that. And then the 5 kick in. The J is the leader there, but it can rock at the bottom, so it needs a bit of support. The B for Bonnie, sometimes it can be a bit private because it's enclosed. But the 2, we see the 2, which is the sensitive, and then your 8 kicks in. But then, so you're, like my full name Joanna is a 1910-1, but Joanna Elizabeth Soley is a 3. That's my expression. If I was to marry and change my name, I'd change my life. It's because of the vibration of the name. And people have been together like 10 years, then they get married, or the marriage didn't work. It's nothing to do with the marriage, it's the changing of the name.
It's the expression,
Yeah, and what you've got I've got lots of 1 in my name, lots of 5 in my name. I've lived in like 23 houses, 15 countries, had 13 relationships, never married, no kids, 46. That, and I thought I was a car crash, but now I can see, no, it's just, it's fine.
Yeah.
It kind of helps you understand your life. Yeah.
So how do you work out your, well, in terms of numbers, how do you work out relationships with other people?
So top line, odds tend to get on with odds, evens tend to get on with evens, because the odd numbers are mental, and, well, not mental, but they're of the brain, and the even numbers are emotional. But then it goes deeper. We can look at how a 1 interacts with a 7, like deeper, but don't work out all your partners there.
Is there when you showed
Yeah.
There's a number for each alphabet?
Yeah. So this is the Pythagorean system. The Chaldean system is different because so like A is 1, B is 2, 3 is C, then we get to 9 is 1, and then we start again. So J is 10, K is 11. If you've got a K or a V as your first name, that's quite strong energy. If you're born on the 11th or 22nd, that's strong energy. So because it's master numbers. So if you're in like I'm in a personal month 22, this is kind of like going a bit deeper now, but I know I can get on it this month because 22's a big deal, it's a master number. We sometimes have a 22 year, but it's rare. So when we've got one, you know, we have to make the most of it.
So can you give us an example then of, say, a life path number and then how you would use your birthday day of your birth to approach it?
Okay, so I'm born on the 4th of the 4th. So I'm a 1, the leader, but my approach is the 4, the builder, and I am very organised, probably a bit officious, dog with the bone, very lists, but that serves me. So when I'm tired, when I'm emotional, when I was a child up till about 18, 19, I would have operated in this 4. So we don't really want to stay in the 4. It's easier to be the day that you're born. We don't really want to be there. We want to step into the 1. But ultimately, because I'm born on the 4th of the 4th, my ultimate goal is 8. But it's not the goal I got last Tuesday. It's not the goal that I'm going to get next week. It's my ultimate goal. So I'm not very 8. I'm very 1. So what I'm working on at the moment is my ultimate goal. I think I worked your ultimate goal out to be 3.
28. Yeah, 2, 8 and 2, 28 second.
Yeah, 8, 9, 10, 12, 3, yeah. So for you, yeah, books in you, speaking, leading from the front, yeah. So I'm working on the 8 at the moment, which is sustainable success and wealth, not, you know, bringing in a load of cash and then it goes out again, the sustainable piece.
Joe, I wanted to ask, are there any other numbers other than the numbers that you gave? You gave 1 to 9 and then 22. And are there other
So 33, it's in the system that I use, it's rare that you get it in your destiny number. It's one world consciousness, God consciousness. It's like 22 is an architect of change. It's big, big energy. You can see it in your name. Some of the systems that some numerologists use, if you add 4 plus 4 plus 1 plus 9 plus 7 plus 3, not that calculation, but if you were to use, then sometimes you could get to 33. We had a conversation about 33, but it's kind of like, it is a big deal. So a lot of the time we see that as 6. But if you're seeing double digits, 33, 44, 55, again, it is master number. Most of the time I reduce, apart from 11, 22 and 33, most of the time I'd reduce everything. I get tagged in all sorts. Oh, I had a dream and I saw 157. It's like, oh wow, we don't want to go down rabbit holes, you know.
So for example, 20, I'll tell you what I was doing, I was just working out somebody.
Okay, and
just to see what they came, it's 23.
Okay.
So would that be 2 and 3? 5.
Yeah, 5. Yeah, yeah.
What's the meaning of the birth month?
So we don't use it in isolation, but we add it to, so we work in the approach. So if you're born 10th, 20th, 30th, but with the birth month, we would add it to the day to create the ultimate goal. If you're born on the 10th or the 20th or the 30th, then that 0 amplifies the 1. So if you're born on the 10th, you'll be really, really leadership and entrepreneurial. If you're born on the 20th, you'll be really sensitive. If you're born on the 30th, you won't stop talking. You know, it's that. Because 0 is God, so it's pure energy, it amplifies.
It's a 10.
Okay, yeah.
So what number is that again?
That's the approach. We call it the approach number. So what day are you born on, Jeff?
31st.
So your approach is 4. So you're 22, but your approach is 4. So we don't want to keep you in the 4 with the 22. We want to make sure that you capitalise on that beautiful architect of change energy, but your approach is the builder.
The month is the 1st.
So your ultimate goal is 5, travel, adventure, freedom.
So what's the month on its own?
It's no relevance on its own. Yeah.
Sorry, just to clarify.
It's okay.
So month is what is month?
Don't worry about month, but we add it to the date of birth to create the ultimate goal.
Okay, and then the approach is?
The day you were born on.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, when were you born?
25th.
So the 7.
Okay.
So you're an 8, but your approach is 7. Now, you're not the number next to you. So I'm not a 2. I'm not a 2. My mum is a 2. She drives me mental. But I'm not a 2, okay? So you're not a 7, but your approach is the 7. So that's where we can see a little bit of conflict in the person. So that's what I would help somebody work through.
What if you have the same number for the approach and the ultimate goal?
So we can't have, because we walk, so we have 4 roads that we walk. We can't have 4 roads the same because we'll be walking up and down the same road. So we add them together. So I'll help you do it. Yeah.
So 19 is a day. What does that mean?
19 is 10, which is 1.
That's 1.
1 and 9 is 10. It's 1, yeah.
So you just add them up.
Yeah. So you always reduce down to a single digit unless it's an 11 and 22. So if you're born on the 11th or born on the 22nd, then you've got master number in your 4 roads. So I'm holding this little thing.
Any other questions? Yeah, I was born on the 11th. What's my approach?
So the approach would be the spiritual teacher. So it would be somebody who was seeking, somebody who'd be guiding others, someone who's here to do good in the world. You'll be interested in philanthropy. Sometimes you can feel a bit emotional and up and down, but you're brilliant ideas.
That's me, all right.
There you go. So you're an 8. Did I give you your...
No.
So if I'm
Thank you so
on
much.
the 19,
You're
does
a
that make my approach 1?
Yeah. So you're the leader, so you're the architect of change, and the way you do it is to lead others.
What about 15?
6. The lovers.
So that's my
The
approach.
nurturer. Yeah. Well, your approach would be to love, care, look after people, family, connect. Yeah.
So can you tell us a bit of the importance of the names as the number that works,
So your name is your expression number. It's not who you are, it's who people see you are. So my expression number is a 3. So people would say that I'm good on stage, that I lead from the front, that I've got a book in me, that I'm a good speaker, a talker, but I wouldn't really see myself as that. I'd see myself more as the 1, but I know other people see me as that. Then they see me as that, I behave like that, and one of the revenue streams of my business is speaking, etc. So it's not, your name is who you appear to be.
When you are working out your name, are you just looking at the first name or before?
The whole
family
name, yeah, on your passport. So the official name. 7.
Thank you.
7. What was 8? I've given you your 6. 8. Did I give you?
8 is
I gave you a 5. Would you like a 22? Yeah. And what number are you, Peter? Ah. When you've got lots of high numbers, could you give the 9? Yeah. Lots of high numbers, haven't you? 9 and 11. It hasn't been an easy path.
Not so far.
But yeah. But then we choose it, and then we get here, and then we're like, oh. We get here, we choose it, and then we get here, we're like, oh. But then we've got it in us to deal with it. Yeah. 9.
Thank you.
And
This is my life.
so, any other questions? If you wanted to ask me any questions, you can message me, and the details are on the back of your cards. Okay.